Hello, chess friends. This is International Master Valeri Lilov, and today I'd like to do is to actually show you some really instructive in-game lessons, something that you could actually follow and apply in your on very next game. So, what I'm talking about first of all is that in-games are generally easy to play for people who know what they're doing. And what I mean by that is that, when you are in a situation where the queens are exchanged and there's a clear target you can attack, it's kind of easy. But when you just have the queens exchanged and you're just starting, it's a little more difficult. So I want to show you a couple of examples, which are probably some of the best of the great endgame master Jose Capablanca. Capablanca is known as the best player in the world of endgame. And that's why I think that his games are incredible at showing how a player must think in the endgame. I'm not going to be talking about how a player must just generally consider endgames, but how one should think. So let me show you this excellent game. Basically, Capablanca was white. This is a game that he played versus Saveli Tartakover, and it was played in New York, 1924. Started off with d4, black played e6. Okay, then what we have is, actually, hold on for a second. Let me put in the notation below so you could see it. The moves, okay, so we have d4, e6, knight f3, f5, c4, knight f6, bishop g5, bishop e7. I mean, I'm not going to talk so much about the opening here because everything was just about white being able to develop quite quickly. And so then there is the move of knight of the d2, and of course there's a chance to play with pawn up to the e4 and everything. So this is cool. After the move of bishop to g5, okay, then bishop e7, knight c3, castles, e3, and b6. So these are just generally developing moves for each side. White is setting up towards the center. Black is kind of doing the same. And yeah, as it went, through the move of pawn to b6, white decided, okay, I'm going to go for bishop d3 and build towards the center. So you see, we're going to go to the end game from the beginning because I want to show you how a game transforms as an end into an end game and what makes an end game good. It hasn't happened yet. So black plays queen e8, queen e2, knight e4, bishop takes e7, knight takes to the ec3, b takes to the c3, and queen takes to e7. So this is a really good point to talk about now. So what's actually happening? Well, reality is that black is actually getting quite well. He's having this queen in the e7. So he is, just moving close. So what do we do next? Right after black's queen came down on the e7 square, of course, white is supposed to make to really figure out where to go. Should he just choose to advance or do something else? But really good question. After queen takes e7, white plays a4. And this is something interesting to talk about the middle game. You can start the middle game by sort of preparing for the end game. You don't want to do it consciously because you don't know if it will ever happen. But what we're doing here is white is just getting, a little bit more space. So this is good. Very good position. Everything is good. So there's no danger. And okay, so what's going to happen after that? Well, right after the move of pawn to a4, it all works out. So white, after that, black actually played in case of the a4 move, bishop takes f3. It's a bad exchange. Now, you want to know something about exchanging. When it comes down to exchanges, you have to understand that every exchange happening is literally, helpful to, to the opponent, to the player. So, like, basically, the move of bishop takes f3 that black does is a pretty horrible move. It gave away the light square bishop, so this is something that we obviously love, and it's just not good. Okay, so after the move of bishop takes to f3, okay, bishop takes f3. White, of course, gets to play the move of queen takes f3. Like, black just gave away an important, perfect-looking bishop. Why would anybody do that? See, it's weird. Just didn't work. So when the move of bishop takes f3 took place, it was very clear that black didn't know what to do. So he actually just exchanged it there. And then after that, like queen bishop takes f3, queen takes to the f3, we are perfect. Okay, so what's going on next? After the move of bishop takes f, queen takes f, there's knight c6. Now, I'd like to ask you, how would you play here? You might want to take a moment to actually think a bit about this, but it's pretty good. It's really important. I mean, really looking at this position from the white side, it looks like we have that queen that's on f3. That's pretty solid. We've got the bishop on the d3, and so I have everything. That's quite good, right? So what are we going to do now? It's really, really interesting. Now, the first thing that you have to understand, is that, when you are in a position like that, when you are thinking about, okay, what's the right plan that I can take? Should I be going d5? Should I be doing this? You got to ask yourself, are you ready? Do we continue with a move of pawn up to the d5? Do we play something else? What's the right idea? After the move of knight c6 and move 13, White played rook fb1. There's an order to things, and the order for White here was that nothing is going to go well unless he doesn't set up the pieces and make them better. Rook a e8, queen h3, rook f6. And so what are we supposed to do now? It's a good question. It's really good. Here we have the pawn. We've got the space. We have the development. Everything is, pretty important in this position. So what are we doing? Okay. Now, the thing that you must understand, okay, the thing that you must understand about such a position is that rule number one, you've got the pieces, you've got the setup, you've got everything in the play, but you have to follow with a plan. It doesn't matter what you're actually looking for. You have to be thinking very specifically, what am I doing? Or am I supposed to advance in this way, or am I going to go like this? What do I do? Where am I intending to follow? Key question. So what did White do? Well, after 15 rook f6, White expands with f4. And I like to say that this is a really wonderful idea to help us realize the power of the advanced pieces. f4 not only takes away e5, so black doesn't get to do it, but we're also getting the chance, now actually after knight a5, to play queen f3, d6, rook to the e1. Slowly, white expands the position. This is all you need to do. What do I mean by expanding? Expanding means that actually, first thing you must do out there is gain space. Okay? So this is really, really important. After you continue with that type of a move, then what f4, queen f3, and everything, white is just perfect. Now we have to move like e4 to move, and then in case of black exchanges, then we're going to have that opportunity to recapture. It's a beautiful position. It's really good, solid, and it continues. All right, so let's see about that. Of course, after that type of move, then black is a little bit down. He's behind in development, and he's not doing all this great. So rook e1 and move e18. Black plays queen d7, and now white continues to expand. Don't look for the endgame necessarily. You can prepare for it, but don't look for it, in that type of position. What we're doing is we're definitely taking the chance to get a little bit more control. There is a chance with which we can keep the tension over. Wow, I mean, this is good because we've got also the rook that's perfect. Beautiful, simple, effective, and excellent. Well, actually, as a matter of fact, is that now black is just in a bit of a difficult position, especially with the e6 that is going to be challenged. So what happened after the queen took on a4? Well, black did g6, and white played g3. Okay, g6, g3, king f8, king g2, rook f7, pawn to h4. And so we suddenly realize it's not just the white pieces, like, and pawns and everything that he has. It's the black pieces. It's the fact that none of them, and I mean, I'm talking about none of his, his rooks, the queen, the knight that's back there, and anything. None of these are in any way good. They're just bad, in this position. Key thing, most important thing that you'd like to do is to hold your opponent, like a little bit backward. Now we have that chance to keep the opponent, behind an e6, which is key. And yeah, so that's quite critical out there. What about black? I don't know. I mean, he's just awful in that position. He has like a bad position. Let me see about that. So pawn to h4, and then black plays d5, c takes d, e takes d. We forced him to do the exchange. Now, how do we assess this endgame? It's going to be really important to talk about. Is it good? Is it bad? How do we know? Okay, it's not good and it's not bad. What you'd like to know, and this is a huge thing to remember, is to think about where are the different type of weaknesses. I mean, what you see in this situation right now is that black's got problems not just on the light square and the king side. Also, his king is in the middle of nowhere. And more importantly, in this case, you could find out that white can be having a move like, say, not rook h1. There could be a move of pawn up to the h5. There are perfect positions, just like possibilities to attack. Now, if the king takes to the e8, black is so far behind. What do we do? The pawn structure is better. The pieces are good. Black is a little backward. So, what to do? What to do? What to do? What to do? It's actually kind of interesting if you think about this because, white has an incredible set of pieces. Black is, behind and horrible. But then again, there's the question, what do I do next? Do I get to, like attack in any way? Do I threaten? What do I do? It's kind of interesting. So what white picked up to do, as soon as black played with that move, and this is a big question that I wanted to tell you actually. The big thing that you'd like to remember is use your pawns to create a bit of a weakness. And now what we realize is that as soon as black would play with g takes h, there's going to be rook to the h1, and then there is going to be rook h1 with a rook takes h1, a rook takes h5. And that is so powerful out there. Great. Perfect position. Everything is wonderful. Let's see about that. Okay, so after this move of pawn to the h5, apparently black is feeling a little bit, like backward. If he plays with g takes h, there's going to be rook to the h1. And then there is going to be the idea of playing rook takes h5 quickly. It's super. It's really good. it's really dangerous. So, what did black do in that position? I mean, after the move pawn up to the h5. Well, after h5, there's not a whole lot he can do, honestly. After this move, black picked up to do rook f6. He didn't want to allow the passed pawn on the f. He simply wanted to keep the structure going. Now, I want to ask you, what do you think white should do next? This is really interesting out there. So we have this, it's like a good position. Everything is in the play. Black has to defend the g6. What now? That is a really important situation. Do we do? Do we open? Do we advance? Do we threaten? The key thing is we need more. And what I'm actually talking about is we need more pieces. Yes, that is exactly how we can make it work. The most valuable thing to do is rook h1. See, the moment when white actually brought in the rook, you can understand that it's just this rook is going to go directly at the h5, at the h6, and then there's going to be nothing. It's just we could hit him on the g6. His king is going to be badly placed, and then he's awful. One of the key things is we need to get as many forces as possible into the play. Once that's happening, and the moment the rook is into the play, he's going to be in a really deep trouble there. This is cool. Rook h1. Perfect position. It's really wonderful. Now, what then? Okay, black played king f8. Rook h7. Rook c6. g4. Brilliant. Look at this. White simply keeps on advancing. He doesn't want to necessarily attack or do anything great. He simply keeps on advancing his pieces. Rook takes to c3. He's going to be met by bishop takes g6. Advance, advance, advance. That's all you need. You don't need to do anything out there. But when you keep advancing, it's going to be perfect. Black obviously can't take in the c3. The g6 is actually under a very severe tension. None of the black pawn pieces are ready or going anywhere. That's just horrible for him. And what actually did happen out there is that it's like after the move of pawn to the g4, well, you see, the position is progressing for white while it's decreasing for black. Knight c4, g5, okay, knight e3 check, king f3, knight f5. So what do we do? Black's trying to keep everything together, and what to do next. Having this position with with white, you can understand that there is a great position. Our bishop is perfect. Most of black's pieces are badly placed, so we're good. We definitely we're good. We're good here. But see, you have to do, and this is a huge thing to remember. Actually, what you've got to do is to concentrate your attention on. Forget that. Forget anything, any calculations or whatever. Think only about improving in the key moments when there is an exchange coming in play. See, because after bishop takes f5, g takes f5, and king g3, every exchange leads to a big question, which is what does it result with? See, and now it results in the king going to h4. And then, of course, we're going to be able to play after the move of king h4. We've got the chance to play with the move of king h5. You have that perfect opportunity of king g6. It's simple. It's really wonderful. And the opponent's going to have an issue. Start with the idea of improving your pieces one step at a time. That was great. And then apparently black has an issue with everything. So, okay, what happens next? Right, well, truth is that there's not a whole lot he can make in this position. So what black decided after 35 king to g3 is that it is a bit of a difficult position. He played rook takes the c3 check, king h4, rook f3, g6. And now we get to the two most important things in the endgame. Piece activity and pass pawns. Piece activity and pass. Piece activity is when you get your pieces more active, more advanced. And then actually, other thing that you could do is get the opportunity to, so once you get your pieces active, you could be thinking a little bit more about pass pawns. Like a pass pawn, as you can see now, is brilliant because it can help us out with the move of king to the g5. And so that is really, really good. Perfect. Excellent to follow. King is going to g, it's just going to be a perfect idea. So great stuff. One of the most valuable things is keep improving, keep advancing, keep getting better. So g6 on move 37. Pieces are brilliantly active and the king is coming together. It moved to the g5. It moved down to f6. Just look at that. So king f6, king g8. White gave a check on the g7. And, that was basically everything. King h8. Rook takes the c7. Then after rook takes the c7, there is rook e8, king takes f5. Again, it's like the simplest. The king is moving forward to f6, check. King e5. And then after rook g1, g4, there is g7. He takes it, then we're just going to take it, and then play king takes d5. That is just so perfect. King g8, rook takes to a7. Okay, rook to g1, king takes d5, rook c1, king d6. I mean, white's activity allows him to do all this damage, against the opponent. And wow, that's just really brilliant. We have that pawn up to the d5 in that moment, and it's just great. Simple, straightforward, and possible for the opponent, to deal with. So, one of the things that you'd like to remember, actually, is that it is key that you improve your pieces and, just you make everything, advance. So now we have that possibility to follow up with d5. So what you could learn are three key ideas from this game. Number one, don't think about the end game, but keep improving. Add the small qualities to your position, just like White did. Expand, gain more space. So whatever end game eventually appears from this point, you're going to have enough space and enough activity to make it work. And more importantly, make sure Now, when you go into an endgame, you think about two ideas: pawn structure and how do I create a weakness. Where do you have to advance so that you can create a weakness? Like now we go on the king's side. It was brilliant. Most important of all this is to make sure that you have the concept of piece activity and pass balls together. Because when you do it, it becomes tremendous. Right? Use the piece activity and the pass balls to actually win. So, piece activity, pass balls, the two most important things in the end game. I want to thank you all for joining me today. In the meantime, don't forget, the link below this video offers an incredible offer on an incredible course about end games and all. So check it out. It's really one of the best out there, and it's only available for a few hour discount. I want to thank you all for joining me tonight, and I'll speak to you in a couple weeks.